So we know that an employer can be held vicariously liable for a tort committed by an employee as long as it was committed in the course of employment. So what is actually meant by course of employment? That's what the Supreme Court of Canada looked at in the case of Bazley and Curry. So the facts of this case involve an employer called the Children's Foundation, which ran 2 residential care facilities for the treatment of emotionally troubled children between the ages of 6 and 12. The foundation's employees were authorized to act as parent figures for the children in their care. The employees were to do everything a parent would do, from just general supervision to even intimate things like bathing and tucking in at bedtime. The foundation hired a specific employee named Mr. Curry, who happened to be a pedophile, but the foundation didn't know he was a pedophile. They had checked him out, checked his references, and he seemed, and they were all clear. But the unfortunate thing that happened is that when Mr. Curry was working at the foundation, helping to take care of children, one of the children in his care, he sexually abused. When the foundation found out what had happened, they immediately fired Curry and found out that he had actually been convicted of 19 counts of sexual abuse in the past. And the victim, the child who was abused, Bazley has sued the foundation for compensation for the injuries that he suffered because of that sexual abuse. The foundation took the position that it had done nothing wrong. It had done its due diligence in hiring Bazley. They checked his references, and they also supervised him in an appropriate way. But Bazley's position was that it doesn't matter if the foundation did its due diligence or did nothing wrong. The foundation is still nonetheless liable as the employer by way of vicarious liability for the tort committed by its employee Curry. So the legal issue in this case is whether or not the foundation, the employer, is vicariously liable for its employee's sexual assault of a child in its care. So the court had to determine what is the applicable law for determining vicarious liability. And it said that there are 2 ways that an employer can be held vicariously liable. The first way is when the employee has done something that is authorized by the employer, which in this case, obviously, the foundation did not authorize Curry to sexually abuse this child. So that's that doesn't apply to this case. But that's one way that an employer can be held vicariously liable. The other way, the second way, is where the employee has done something that's unauthorized, that's not allowed by the employer, but what they did that was unauthorized is significantly connected to the employment duties of that employee. So as long as there's that significant connection between what happened, between the bad thing that happened and the employment duties, the job, the authorized duties of that employee, then the employer can be held vicariously liable. So the court looked in detail at the facts of this case, and there's an excerpt here which I'm showing you, but I won't read through it. But they basically come to the conclusion by looking through these facts that there was a significant connection between the sexual abuse committed by Curry and his employment duties. It was his employment duties that required him to come into intimate contact with the kids at this institution, and that those employment duties gave him the opportunity to sexually abuse the victim here.